All right, today I'm going to begin with a very simple and easy picking exercise. It's got two notes. There they are, E and B, with a downstroke and an up. And we can make that a little smaller of a motion if we want to do it faster. It's a really good exercise for outside picking. If this is your lower string and this is your upper string, outside means you never go in here. It means you're doing a down here and an up here, staying outside of those two strings. Let's have a look at my right hand. Now, you would think, why would you ever want to learn such a simple exercise? It's too simple for me because I'm a complicated guitar player. What I want to do is I want to expand this by using a mathematical pattern. That's why I brought the whiteboard today. I'm going to actually inflict some math upon your brain. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take an E minor triad, which is very useful in rock and heavy metal. That's the sound of E minor. And an E minor triad is three notes, E, G, and B. And it doesn't even matter how you play them, it's going to be a triad. I'm just going to play it like that to get the sound in your ear. So now you know what it sounds like, and let me write those notes down, because here's where the math comes in. I'm going to write down E, G, and B, and then I'm going to do it again, because the next one's going to be the next octave up. So this is how most guitar players play arpeggios, is they start at the bottom note, and they go dun, 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 and they can sweep pick it, you know, or however they do it, they just start at the bottom and they go all the way up, and that's the way most people play arpeggios. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to break up the notes a little bit, and so I'm going to skip the G, and I'm going to go straight from the E to the B. So let's write it this way. I'm going to write E and B is our first little thing. And that's easy to play, because that's basically the power chord that we started with. Back to our picking exercise. Let's actually play it on the 12th fret in 12th position. Again, this is so easy, it's no worries. The next part, I'm going to take the same principle, but I'm going to start with the G note, skip the B, and go to the E. So you can sort of see the pattern forming. You skip the middle guy. And so that is G and E. Now, playing this one, with guitar, it's unlike piano. You have different choices of where to play the notes. So you could play G and E like this. You could do it, but I'm going to do it like this. Now there you actually have to skip a string. You're not playing the A string. You're playing the G there and the E there, and you're skipping over the A string. But the picking is the same. You're still doing a down there and an up there, outside picking. So it doesn't really feel different. It's just a little bit bigger of a motion, but the same technique. So let's practice going between these two. Now, picking-wise, it's easier. Just doing the same thing over and over again. Left hand, it's not too bad, but you do have to shift your first finger. It has to go from 12th position to 14th position. But you can get it. Let's keep going. The next one, you guessed it, B to G. And I'm going to add the next one on, because you can see the pattern forming now. And then the last one, actually the last one, it starts over, we're E and B again. So really these are the only ones we have, and then it just keeps going up in octaves. So B and G, I'm going to play that here. And so that would be, again, same technique, down and up. Now, on their own, it's not blindingly fast, but if you do them all together, and then keep going, working out the fingerings as you go, it's a nice sounding arpeggio, and it's not the typical that many guitar players tend to do. It's a little more, to me, the pattern is more interesting. A glorious sound. So the next thing I'm going to show you is you can do this to scales or arpeggios besides E minor triads. There's a lot more available in music than that. And I'm going to give you the other maybe most useful sound in heavy metal, which is C Lydian, sort of corresponds to this. It's the the typical heavy metal progression. If you're going like, that's that C Lydian sound. I played that to get it in your ears, the sound of Lydian. And to me, the most important notes in Lydian, of course you can play the whole scale, but I don't want to play the whole scale. I just want to play what to me is the coolest notes. In this case, in the key of C, we've got C, got the third, which is E. The most important note to make Lydian sound like Lydian, which is the sharp 4, and then the 5, F. So I'm going to use 4 notes. In the triad, we had 3 notes. In C Lydian, we've got 4. So give me a second to erase this. I feel like a real classroom teacher. You can start calling me Mr. Gilbert. Don't do that. That'd be weird. Okay, so our notes are C. I got to remember them. E, F sharp, G, and then again, we're going to go up an octave, so I'm going to put another C. Oh, I'm running out of room. Let's see. I think it's going to be all right. I'll put one more F sharp just to make sure. All right, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to skip over. So we've got C. I'm going to go a little faster this time because you guys, you know the principle now. C and F sharp, you guessed it. E and G. F sharp and C. And G and E. Do we have another one? C and F sharp. Oh, we're back to the beginning. So there's 4 of them this time. 4 little 2-note sets. So again, the challenge when you work this stuff out is figuring out the fingering. Because on guitar, C and F sharp, that one's pretty easy because it's going to be, it would be a big stretch if you don't do it this way. So I'm just going to play through them. I'm going to give you the answer, which would be... Now, what a nice sound that is. That's a cool sound. You could even play them as chords, And to me, that's a really, even though it's math, like it's not even though, because it's math, it sounds good. Okay, so you can do this to anything you come across in music that you like. You could do it to Dorian, or the blues scale, or like diminished. And there's back to our E minor triad. So it's a way of breaking things up by skipping the middle note and trying to choose the best notes to give you the flavor of the mode or arpeggio that you're playing. That's it. Enjoy the notes, play the good ones, and rock and roll.